What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Godly Potential YouTube channel. This video, I'm gonna be responding to a comment I received on a video I made not too long ago. It's entitled, "For those of you who don't want to reincarnate." If you haven't seen that video, I suggest you go check it out. It's a very good video, in my opinion. It's for those people who basically say that they're done with this earthly realm, you know, just 3D shit, so they don't want to reincarnate. Well, in that video I talk about how it takes more than just saying that you don't want to come back in order to not come back. But anyway, the comment left on the video was shout out to this person. I think it's a female, so shout out to her. The comment says, "I have a theory, hear me out. It's a pretty good one. I did a tarot reading. Basically, here's the theory. If you're too good, or if you're too bad to get into heaven and too good to go to hell, you'll be reincarnated back on earth." I decided to make a video about this because I want to go over my opinion and my take on heaven and hell. So for me personally, I feel that not only is heaven and hell, you can look at it as states of mind, but they're also just different dimensions. Okay, so I look at hell as being a lower dimension and heaven being like a higher dimension, you know, like the 7th, 8th, 9th dimension. Okay, so the comment, she said that her theory is, if you're too bad to go to heaven but too good to go to hell, then you'll be reincarnated. Well, my take on this is that if you do not evolve spiritually, you will be reincarnated regardless, because it gets very subjective, very gray when it comes to, is this person evil, is this person good, right? Because it all depends on that person's perspective. If this person is committing acts of violence against others, but to them it's justified, who are they being judged by at that point? Because God, the creator, and even these higher level beings, they don't see us as they don't see us as committing acts of crime or acts of evil or good. They just see us being humans, right? It's only when you come down here and we have our own morals and our ethics that we label as good and bad, right? So if this person's committing these crimes, right, but they in their mind feel it's justified, and at the end, when, just like the Egyptian state, when you, with Mayat, when you balance the feathers, right, is your heart heavier than a feather? Basically what that means is, do you carry grief? Do you carry a heavy burden on your heart, right? If not, that heart will be light as a feather. If you do carry it, it will be heavy. And with that theory, you won't move on to heaven, if you will. You will go to the other places. So, truth be told is, you can be good, you can be so righteous, but if you're not evolving spiritually, you just living a great life in the eyes of others or yourself, that's not going to stop you from reincarnating. And it's not to say those who are doing negative, it's going to go to hellish realms, unless they're carrying their frequency with them. It's all about, whenever you make the transition, whenever this physical body dies, it's about the level of consciousness you possess and the frequency which you possess, also what you believe in. If you believe in heaven and hell states, you will end up in one of those realms. If you die with the concept of there's a heaven and a hell, and you feel that you done wrong, you're going to experience hellish states. Unless your ancestors, the one that's living, your descendants, elevate you out of that, which is the reason why ancestor altars are very important, extremely important. Okay, because whenever you create an ancestor altar, that that raises the energy, the frequency of your ancestors that may be in those hellish realms that believed in a heaven and hell and they passed away. All right. Now, also the opposite is true. If you believe in heaven and let's say you had time to die, let's say you were on your deathbed and like it was like old age or something, and you believe you did good, you had someone come over and bless over you and you had all your family around, you will experience more heavenly realms. Okay, but that's not to say that you won't reincarnate. You would just experience those realms until it's time for you to reincarnate. Okay, and that astral form will be basically on that realm. And that's the reason why you can contact your ancestors. So let's say you have an ancestor that passed away. The spirit of that ancestor moves on to the astral realm, to go to those ancestral realms. That soul of that ancestor moves on and reincarnates. Okay. Anyway, get back on topic. So, heaven and hell. Truth be told, their mindsets. You can have heaven on earth. You can have hell on earth. In my personal opinion, based off the things that I've heard, things I've been taught, just listening to other teachers, this is hell that we're currently in. Why do I say that? Because you can experience every hellish realm or every hellish thing possible here in this dimension. Okay? I would say, and I believe guy Brother Yosef over on New Life Tools YouTube channel, he stated that Earth, or this third dimension or fourth dimension, is just one frequency above hell, or those hellish realms, or a more hellish realm. So this is hell, my friends. And if it isn't hell, then it's definitely in between hell. But I wouldn't even say that, because you can experience heaven as well here. You can also experience hell. So those two concepts, heaven and hell, in my humble opinion, are just states of being, or there's just frequency, levels of vibration, levels of frequency. Typically, if you're vibrating at a higher rate, you're going to experience more joy, more peace, more abundance, more bliss, more heavenly experiences. And the opposite is true. If you live in poverty, if you got spirit of lack, negativity all around you, a bunch of just wickedness, you'll be in hell, in your opinion. Right? There's some people that's locked up, they're not having a hard time. They're chilling. That's not really hell to them. But there's some people in the same predicament who going through it, you know. Same thing here in this in the free world. Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to get my take on that video. Not knocking your perspective. I mean, but that also reminds me of a story. So back in the military, my military days, when I got into all of these more spiritual concepts, these more esoteric topics, I would talk to people about it at work, those who were interested. And I worked a night shift around this time. So one time in particular, I was talking to this guy. He was a bit skeptical about everything, but he also believed in certain things. He grew up like taking psychedelics, so he had certain experiences. He like seeing shadow beings and all this stuff. So he went extremely close out, but the whole concept of heaven and hell, he was, you know, that's what we were talking about. And he asked me, he was like, so what happens when you die? Like what do you see, you know? And I'm no expert, but I'm like, well, based off the things I've heard, like people having near-death experiences or out-of-body experiences, you know, they state that basically whatever their faith is, whatever they believed in, that is what they'll see. So if they believe in Jesus, they will see Jesus. Or if they believe in the devil and they vibrate low, that's what they'll experience. If they believe in Allah, that's what they will see. They believe in the Buddha, that's what they'll see. Krishna, all these, whatever they believe in, that's what they'll see. And then he asked me, oh yeah, before I say that, so I was in the Air Force, and we're on a flight line, right, middle of the night, and we're in front of this gate that controls entry. One side is open, the other side is latched shut, so it's never open, but the other side is always open, and we can pretty much monitor who comes and who comes and who goes. And so we're sitting out there in front of this, and he asked me, he was like, so what happens if you believe in nothing? What do you see then? And I was like, well, based on that, if you believe in nothing, that's what you will experience, nothingness, right? And then the question he asked me, like, I don't know, I just need more evidence. And as he stated, that gate that's always been locked, it's been locked my entire time there. I asked people who's been there longer, 10 plus years, they say that gate has never been unlocked. That gate just opens up and just moves all the way open. And I just looked at him and started laughing. I was like, is that enough proof for you? The shit was trippy. But I say all that to say this. In that theory, you're going to experience whatever you believe in. Okay? And your belief of yourself whenever you make this transition. So it's going to be either a higher realm or a lower realm, depending on what you believe in. Initially. But that's not to say you're not going to reincarnate, because based on the things I've heard, my findings, at the time of death, you don't immediately go into a reincarnation cycle. You do a life review, some say. You meet with your guides, your ancestors, all of that, right? Maybe you sit down and create another life contract, or maybe you're in purgatory. Some people there's a lot of beings in the more subtle realms who have committed suicide, who pretty much just roaming that dimension because they're ashamed. They don't want to move over. It could be kids that might have passed away, transition. They don't know what happened, so they're still looking for their parents. They're still hanging out at that house, right? You ever been to a haunted house and see a kid? That could be what happened. So certain spirits tend to linger when that happens. So it's not to say you immediately be reincarnated, but once you accept that you have passed away, or if your ancestor or someone helps you transition, then you will move on. But yeah, anyway, that's my response to that comment. Shout out to her. Good comment. It's just my opinion on it, my take on it, you know. Yeah. But like I said, if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It's entitled For Those of You Who Don't Want to Reincarnate. Yeah, if you got any questions, concerns, any theories, drop it in the comment section. This is, I mean, I'm not judging. It's just my take on everything. Pretty sure some of y'all have your different takes on it. You might be religious, think other things. Whatever it is, feel free to share it. But until next time, I'm out. Peace.